Answer.
Your prior answer was to obfuscate, and it's become very clear you're unwilling to answer very simple questions because it's very clear what that weaponization group is all about, and that is using the awesome powers of the Department of Justice to go after the president's enemies. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Adam Schiff just dealt a lethal blow to the art of evasion. Today, we are going to witness a high-ranking nominee for the Department of Justice, DOJ, the agency that holds the life and death of American law, trembling, not daring to utter a single yes or no to a foundational question about ethics. This goes far beyond a routine partisan skirmish. We are dissecting an entity called the Weaponization Working Group. When Schiff drops the ironclad receipt, the core rulebook of the DOJ itself, nominee McDonald's defensive shield shatters, exposing an undeniable cover-up. Don't miss the ending, because the way the chairman refuses to assist Schiff is the most vivid proof of a system turning a blind eye to condone being above the law. Don't forget to hit subscribe, because we need to expose these tactics that turn the DOJ into a weapon of personal vendetta.
Mr. McDonald, were you part of the DOJ's Weaponization Working Group?
Senator, as referenced earlier in some questioning during the hearing today, the Weaponization Working Group, as commissioned by the President.
A simple yes or no would do. Were you part of the Weaponization Working Group?
Senator, as I referenced earlier in questions before the panel, the Weaponization Working Group, as commissioned by the President and then the Attorney General,
I still haven't gotten an answer. Were you involved with the Weaponization Working Group, yes or no?
Adam Schiff doesn't rely on tricky gotcha tactics. He simply presents a very basic binary choice. Yes or no, were you part of that group? Watch McDonald's reflex closely. He instantly activates the memorized script. As I referenced earlier, this is a basic political survival skill to stall for time and parry the blow. But why would a high-ranking official be so terrified of confirming his own job title? The reason is simple. In a hearing under oath, a single yes or no is a sentence. If he says yes, McDonald will immediately be swarmed by subpoenas for documents and emails and must bear absolute responsibility for this group's actions. A lie of no would throw him into a jail cell for perjury. Therefore, McDonald's only escape route is to morph into a playback machine, reciting long-winded speeches to burn through the senator's precious 5 minutes. However, Schiff is no rookie. In a live-action fight, letting your opponent hold the floor means losing control of the tempo. Watch how Schiff constantly chops down McDonald's momentum by emphasizing, "I am asking you a simple question right now." By backing McDonald into a corner and stripping bare this ridiculous runaround, Schiff actually doesn't even need an answer anymore. That very stuttering and trembling screams out to all of America. This powerful nominee is terrified of his actual work being brought to light. And right at the moment the opponent is wobbling the most, Schiff pulls out the most highly lethal receipt.
Question
was rightly
I don't know
identified.
why you won't answer a simple question, but let me ask you a different question. Do you believe that members of the Weaponization Working Group need to abide by the Justice Department manual? Yes or no?
Senator, as a career federal
I'm asking you
prosecutor,
a simple question,
I am
yes
very
or no.
well familiar with the U.S. Department of Justice manual.
I'm glad you are. Do you feel the manual applies to people in the Weaponization Working Group? Do they have to abide by it? Yes or no?
Senator, as you know,
why is that a difficult question for you to answer? Do you believe that members of the Weaponization Work Group have to abide by ethical practices?
Senator, all Department of Justice employees,
so is
every day.
Is that a yes?
Every day.
I'm asking a very specific question, not about all department employees, but about employees in the Weaponization Working Group. Do they have to abide by the Justice Department manual, yes or no?
Senator, all Department of Justice employees
so that's a yes?
operate within the provisions
is that
of the Justice Manual.
Mr. McDonald, is that a yes?
Senator, I would refer you to the answer that I just gave.
Or is the Weaponization Working Group something different? Are you suggesting that it's different, that it doesn't have to abide by the ethics manual, that it doesn't have to abide by ethics at all? Why are you refusing to answer a simple question?
The core receipt Schiff holds in his hand isn't a secretly recorded tape or a leaked classified document. It is the deadliest weapon on the legislative floor, the organization's own rulebook. The Justice Department manual is the immutable code that shapes every action of a prosecutor. By using this, Schiff sets a logical net with no way out, if this manual is the ultimate foundation. Why don't you dare confirm that your weaponization group has to abide by it? Look closely at how McDonald defends himself. Pushed into his fatal weak point, he immediately pulls out a classic media trick, the resume shield. He tries to steer away by boasting, as a career federal prosecutor, I am very familiar with. What is the intent here? He wants to drape himself in a cloak of credibility, implicitly signaling, I am an expert, don't lecture me on the law. Unfortunately, Adam Schiff is not easily manipulated. He throws a verbal judo strike, using the opponent's own momentum to take them down. Schiff smashes that resume shield instantly. I know you are familiar with it. I am glad you are. But do they have to abide by it? That is a perfect counterattack. All of McDonald's sophistry shatters. Schiff follows up with a finishing blow that drowns his opponent. Why? Is that a difficult question for you to answer? Indeed, why is swearing to abide by ethics so difficult? Schiff knows full well he doesn't need McDonald to speak anymore. The silence, the fumbling, and the evasive logic of McDonald is the loudest, most resounding answer. It sounds an alarm to the entire public. This weaponization group is not merely a name. It seems specifically designed to operate in the dark, outside every ethical barrier and the integrity of the justice system. Once you don't dare to say yes to ethics, you have implicitly confessed your dark motives. And just as McDonald is struggling to take the hits, Schiff escalates, piercing straight into criminal allegations. Violating grand jury secrecy, the final camouflage has been stripped clean. Let's watch the way the committee chairman steps up to blatantly shield this cover-up in the next section.
Did you ever witness any of the members of the working group violate rules regarding grand jury secrecy? Yes or no?
Senator, as I referenced in my prior testimony, the Weaponization Working Group
You won't
is
answer that
working
question.
diligently to
So let me
understand the
ask you- let me
historic
ask you one
abuses
last-
and
one last question
weaponization
and
of
see
the
if you're
Department
willing
of
to
Justice
answer it.
in the Biden
Mr.
administration.
McDonald, did you ever witness anyone in the Weaponization Working Group violate the law? Yes or no?
Senator, I would refer you to my prior answer.
I will not assist you. The words uttered from the chairman's seat are not the act of running a meeting. They are naked complicity. When a senator is forced to remind a DOJ nominee that he is publicly refusing to answer whether he witnessed a violation of the law, that is the exact moment the foundation of accountability officially collapses, as Adam Schiff summarized in the final minutes. This entire runaround is the clearest proof that the weaponization group was born with a single mission: to exploit the unrivaled power of a government agency to hunt down and eliminate political opponents. They refused to answer questions about ethics because ethics were never part of their operational plan to begin with.
There are many unanswered questions about the so-called National Fraud Enforcement Division. Some are very basic. In January, Vice President Vance claimed that he would be the operation would be run out of the White House under his and President Trump's supervision. Then the Justice Department contradicted the Vice President, excuse me, and claimed that the new division's Assistant Attorney General would report to Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, not the Vice President. Then we saw last night at the State of the Union address a handshake and handoff to the Vice President again. The confusion doesn't stop there. Justice Department officials cannot agree whether the division will absorb staff and resources from the existing civil and criminal division fraud offices or whether it will hire new staff. Last week, I spoke to Attorney General Bondi asking for clarification on these issues. She has not responded. So we start with the perennial question, who's on first? We should not move ahead with this nominee with such questions unanswered.
If you think McDonald sweating bullets up there was merely an effort to protect his own job, you are vastly underestimating the board in this game. Right after Schiff's interrogation, Senator Dick Durbin pulled the camera back to show us the entire crime scene. Durbin exposed a brutal paradox. Why would a nominee tapped to lead the so-called National Fraud Enforcement Division not dare to confirm that he abides by basic ethics? The answer lies in what this administration is doing behind the curtain. As Durbin pointed out, they are systematically smashing the Justice Department's decades-old infrastructure for fighting public corruption, crypto crimes, and protecting consumers. Why tear it down? To purge the entire system. They are clearing out prosecutors with integrity to pave the way for multi-million-dollar pardon deals for the president's donors. They are turning federal agents into personal shields and letting the FBI director use government jets like a luxury taxi service for golf getaways and chugging beers in Europe. That is exactly why Schiff's question was so dangerous. McDonald couldn't swear to abide by the Justice Department manual because that manual doesn't allow you to turn a blind eye when your bosses are turning the DOJ into a family business. Durbin's speech is the final piece of the puzzle, proving that McDonald's silence wasn't a glitch. It is a mandatory prerequisite for the job. You are only handed power if you agree to check your integrity at the door. As Schiff brilliantly exposed at the very end, this entire runaround proves exactly what this so-called weaponization group is all about. The irony is sickening. A group, supposedly created to investigate the political weaponization of government, is in reality being designed solely to use the awesome, terrifying powers of the DOJ to hunt down political opponents. They don't answer questions about ethics because ethics are fundamentally incompatible with their agenda. Schiff didn't get his yes or no, but he got something better. He put their true, sinister motives on the permanent record. What do you think about this? Leave your thoughts in the comments section. How do you feel when a figure about to take power at the DOJ refuses to swear to abide by the law? And does this razor-sharp interrogation by Adam Schiff ignite hope that these shady forces still have a chance of being dragged into the light? Let's name and shame those who dare to trample on the core principles of the law for partisan gain. Goodbye, and see you in the next videos.